creating one video a week every day is the hardest thing I've ever done. Creating one YouTube video. No. Creating a long form YouTube video every single week. I should do that. Creating one long form YouTube video a week. And as, this is take 4 or 5. Okay. There's literally 2 lines. Why can't I get it right? Creating one long form YouTube video a week and one reel and photo carousel every single day for Instagram has been the hardest strategy I've ever done. But it's the one thing that has continuously made me better. Let's talk about it. The reality nowadays is most people think that they can just pick up a camera, upload a video every so often and sporadically with no kind of consistency and think to make something of their online presence. And the harsh truth is that's not the case. Nowadays, you are having to actually put in a lot of work to actually stand out, especially as the market becomes way more saturated. And depending on your niche, you might actually have to double down and in some platforms upload every single day. One video a week on YouTube has become kind of the standard for being able to stick out, and on Instagram, it's not looking any better. It can be tempting to think that that is what you have to do in order to stand out, but I propose that strategy, although as hard as it can be, uploading one YouTube video every single week and then a reel or photo carousel every single day on Instagram, yeah, that's very rigorous, but I would argue that that is one of the best strategies for actually making yourself better. I think when starting out any kind of social media platform and wanting to actually make it some kind of a career or wanting for some kind of growth, I think one of the biggest misconceptions can be that anybody's gonna care about you in the beginning. And look, I'm saying this more for myself than anybody else, so I don't mean to be offensive here, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. Nobody cares about what you do. And that is something that I tell myself every single week. Nobody cares about the stuff that I do. And so that helps me better focus on the quality. And not so much for viewership on Instagram and YouTube, which some people do enjoy, but really more so for me and just to better develop myself, because I do have a certain time frame. I do have a certain plan and goals for social media, particularly YouTube. And one of those is giving myself 5 years to master as much as I possibly can and see if I really enjoy it. Currently being on year 2, I've had to employ a bunch of different strategies, but one of the strategies that has actually been helping me grow more than anything else is a rigorous uploading schedule. And so that means uploading one YouTube video a week, as well as one reel every single day, and maybe a photo or carousel every day or every other day, depending on if I feel like it. But regardless, those 2 things have to be consistent with me. Now, I'm gonna say this is not for everybody. This is not for the faint of heart. If you're picking up a camera for the first time, I recommend start small, start with something that is manageable, especially if you may have a busy schedule. You may have to dial that down a bit, maybe start with once a month, twice a month. But regardless, give yourself a schedule or a specific amount of uploads you must do and commit to that. And then after a while, once you build a system and rhythm to maintain that schedule, try one-upping yourself. Now, you may wonder, why even do this in the first place? And the thing is, online, you can learn from anybody about anything technical. You can learn how to work a camera, how to edit a photo. The best teacher for how to play the online game, that's viewership, retention, all these kinds of metrics that all these platforms measure success by, is just feedback from these metrics. So feedback from whenever you upload a video, how many people are watching, or what's the click-through rate, what's the retention, are people sticking around, are they clicking on other videos on your page or your platform? These are the kind of metrics that you need to pump as much information into in order to start understanding what you need to get to do better. And so if you upload every so often or not consistently, first of all, the algorithm's not really going to favor your videos or even give you a shot, because the way it works is when you upload a video, especially on YouTube, it's going to disperse it to a couple of people and see what is the success rate of that video. Are people clicking on it? Are people watching it? If that small batch is a successful test group, it's going to now distribute it to a wider audience. To a wider audience. And so then the next question then becomes, well then, as you start to get metrics and as you start to get numbers and feedback, the next question is, how can you learn as fast as possible once you start getting that feedback? And that's where I argue making as many videos as humanly possible is the best thing you're gonna do. It's gonna be very tiring and exhausting, but you're gonna learn so much faster than if you only uploaded once or twice a month, or even just a couple of times a year. As you begin to progress through this kind of rigorous consistency, it's gonna force you to be more consistent, but also more organized. You're gonna start finding plugins, you're gonna start finding presets or shortcuts in order to minimize the back-end work. The front-end work is always gonna be the same. You're gonna always have to plan your videos out. You're not gonna be able to just turn on the camera, go record something, and then it's gonna be really good. Yeah, there are some people that are gifted at that, but for the most part, most of us have to plan stuff out. So a lot of the work is gonna be on the front end and the back end, and it's gonna be up to you to, over time and being consistent, trying to figure out how can you do multiple things in one shot, or how can you create a system or a workflow that will allow you to not cut corners, but get through certain processes a lot faster. One example that I've got is nowadays what I'm doing is when I plan a YouTube video, I'll sit down and I'll actually try and plan at least 6 of them. That's thumbnail, that's a hook, that's any text overlays I may want, and then the body and main points of the video, so that when I have 6 ready to go, I can just press record wherever I want, wherever I see the setting can lend to the vision, and I've already got everything. I've got the thumbnails, I got everything planned out, so now all I have to do is take it back to the office and actually start editing everything. And then on that end as well, things like plugins are gonna help you really just minimize the workflow on the back end. And so those kinds of things you are gonna develop. A lot of people are throwing out their ideas that you can definitely benefit a lot from. You're only gonna really know what works if you start doing the work of uploading rigorously and continuously. So if you have a good workflow in place that allows you to create that many videos, it's also gonna help you on the weeks or the days that you feel so burnt out. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I released a video where I talked about that I was just feeling so mentally burned out. And prior to that, I was just creating a ton of content and planning to where I just felt like I just needed a break. I did step away for 2 or 3 days, but the systems I had in place allowed my online presence to keep going because I had already created a ton of videos both on YouTube and Instagram, and they were already scheduled to go. So every day it looked like I was just engaging where I really wasn't. But I had done a lot of work on the back end in order to allow that to keep going. Right now, I'm actually going through a lot of work to actually create enough YouTube videos to carry my YouTube account on for the next 3 or 4 weeks, just because I'm about to go off to Scotland. We're out there for about 14 days, and I don't really foresee a lot of time editing videos for each week. So the systems I have in place that I've developed over time because of consistently uploading and knowing what works, what doesn't, has allowed me to plan so far ahead that when I go to Scotland, I can just focus on shooting videos, taking photos, having a good time with my wife, all the while my accounts are uploading and working for me while I'm taking a vacation. Now on the paid front, this helps out a ton as well, because for anybody who may be getting started and doesn't really know the ins and outs of this industry, you probably want to start making money as well. And I know a lot of people are saying that one of the best ways to do that is to offer your work for free to start building your portfolio, especially in the environments you want to be working in, because that kind of content is king in order to allow your portfolio to grow and show people what you want to do. I would argue too that aside from that, it's gonna aid your work with clientele, especially if you're doing it for free. Your work with clients is gonna get a whole lot much better. You're gonna be more confident with them if you're already doing the work on your end and mastering your camera settings, knowing the ideal lighting conditions that you like, just developing your preference so that when you do speak to clients, when you do start charging, you're a little more confident. You know what you can offer, you know what you can do for them, you can offer tips and suggestions. Even though you may be just in your first year, it's gonna give you a whole lot more confidence. Speaking with them may book you more sales because they're gonna see that this guy is serious or this gal is serious and you're not playing around. Overall, in my opinion, this is just the absolute best strategy to begin with. I would not have done this. So I'm currently about to start, I'm gonna hit my 2nd year on YouTube come November. My first year, I would not have ever dreamed of uploading consistently every day to Instagram. In fact, I don't even think I started Instagram until about, I'd have to look back, maybe it was definitely this year, so it wasn't the first year. So I had to build up eventually. It wasn't one of those things where I just immediately started uploading every single day. On YouTube though, I did commit to uploading 1 video every single week. There were times where, there have been a couple of weeks where I missed, but I doubled up the following week. So all throughout my YouTube career, I have definitely maintained that schedule of uploading, which just then propels me on to the next phase of rigorous uploads and just be more consistency. But the overall thing that I would really just take away from this, I hope you would take away from this, is Consistency is king, especially as the world becomes so much more saturated with people wanting to do this kind of stuff. The only way you're really gonna stand out, unfortunately, is by just maintaining a rigorous upload schedule. But I would probably encourage you not to look at it as that, because if you look at it that way, that can be very discouraging. I would look at it as, and this is the whole point of the video, is maintain such a consistent schedule and one-up yourself if you can every year with how many uploads you can do. Try and double up on how many you put out for the sole benefit of improving your craft, because you're not going to learn everything all at once. There's so much to learn, and in fact it can be so daunting. So what I would encourage it to you is upload, commit to a certain schedule up front, and then every single video re-watch it. Try and see what you can do better. What are other people doing in that field that you're in? What are your metrics saying? Are people dropping off after a certain part of the video? Study those key points. And although that's a lot, and take notes of it, improve just one thing every video moving forward, because that's the thing that's gonna keep you growing. And you pair that up with all these videos coming out every year, you're gonna be learning so much. And look, in my experience, I still have a lot of growing to do. I mean, so much on social media, and particularly YouTube. But on the client side, it has given me so much credibility that I can't even, it's funny looking back where I was just 6 months ago and the way that I would approach clients and what I would actually offer clients versus now. The difference in product is outstanding. It's definitely not reflected on social media because that is an entirely different game. In the world that I'm in, most clients don't specifically ask for the kind of videos that I put out on YouTube, but all the lessons that I learn on social media are certainly transferable, that allow you to be more efficient and just put out a better work product. So I really hope that encouraged somebody. If you've got any other tips, maybe something I did not mention and something that's helped you out if you're getting started on your YouTube journey, or if you've been here for a while, throw some tips out in the comments. I'd like to know, what are you doing out there that's helping you out, especially on days that you may be feeling burnt out? Like, how do you keep going? I'd love to interact with you there. Just leave something there in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you found any value in this at all. It definitely helps me out. It's a free way to support this channel. But Jeep Fest is currently going on. I'm gonna be making a video about that as well. It's like this event that hundreds of Jeeps just show up and they just run through obstacle courses and just have a good time. So I'll be putting something out on the channel for that as well. So I'm gonna go capture that, but we'll see you guys in the next video.